And what Bedrock Data is a data-driven integration platform that allows a business user to sync their web-based applications and essentially keep like data in sync at all times to make sure they have the right contact information everywhere. If you update it in one system, you don't want to have to worry about updating it in 2 or 3 other systems. So currently, live in production, we integrate with various CRMs, email marketing platforms, lead generation platforms, and e-commerce platforms. So you can kind of see here the list. Pretend I'm a new customer. I'm going to sign up. So when a user first signs up, essentially they get to the Get Started screen that kind of describes what they need to do. It's step 1 is set up your app, step 2 is subscribe, step 3 is activate. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Get Started button, and it shows me the systems that are integrated via Bedrock. I'm going to do a Hubspot LeadMaster. I'm going to do Next. And then it says what system should take precedence in case there is a data conflict. The answer here, in the case of a marketing platform and a CRM, is always the CRM. This is where you have the tightest control of data, so that should win in case of a data conflict. And the next thing it does is it brings me to the app settings screen where it's going to ask me to connect to the systems and then map my fields and choose any other options depending on what systems I'm integrated with. So I'm going to start by connecting to LeadMaster. And I'll grab my key, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste the key right in here and do authenticate. And what we do is we do a quick API call to verify that the credentials are good. So it was successful, so I'm going to return to settings. I'm going to then go out to Hubspot, and I'm going to authenticate, and it's going to authenticate for me against Hubspot. And now I'm going to return to settings, and I'm going to see some additional things that I can do here. So I can map my fields, which are going to allow me to define the definition of fields between systems. I can also choose to use HubSpot inclusion lists, or I can filter contacts created in HubSpot. And what this allows me to do is fine-tune the data coming into and out of the marketing platform. We're getting ready to add the filters for all systems, so you can fine-tune what goes into any system. Right now, it's simply available on the HubSpot because we decided it was the easiest one for us to test at a large scale. So I'm going to start by mapping my fields. So this is a screen that shows me what's already mapped. By default, we map standard fields across the systems that we know about. So I can see if I pull up address, I'm going to see that in the HubSpot contact system, it's called street address, and in the LeadMaster system, it's called address. I can go ahead and also add a new field. So I'm just going to pick a field here. You can see I have all of the fields that are available to me out of the LeadMaster API. And I'm going to do lead status, and I'm going to map that to my custom radio select box in HubSpot. I'm going to call it my test mapping. So I can add as many fields as I want here, and I can get as fine-tuned as I'd like. I can come in and delete any one that I don't want, or I can add in additionals as required. So I'm going to go back to settings now, and essentially I'll just show you the inclusion list. One of the things we do is we're able to hit the list API at HubSpot and say, you know, you can get anyone who's in any of these lists, and we'll sync those folks. So you can really create some very interesting lists in the HubSpot list tool. It's a pretty powerful way of filtering out of HubSpot. And then when I want to add a filter, I can filter what goes into HubSpot just by picking any of my mapped fields. And like I could say, website does not contain Facebook. Meaning if anyone puts in a contact or a lead into to LeadMaster that has their Facebook URL as the website, we can go ahead and exclude those by default. So I'll go return to apps, and the next thing to do is actually start your app. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to ask me to go through the sign-up process, because what we're going to do, so when I subscribe, it's actually going to bounce me back. So now what I can do is I can actually return to the app, and I can click the Start button. So I'm going to click the Start button, and then I'm going to pull up the status. And essentially what it tells me is the initial sync is scheduled and ongoing sync is pending the initial sync. We actually just query both systems for all of the data in them that we're working with. And we're really looking to get the keys. And the reason we want the keys, and in this case it's record ID and email address, because that's what we deduplicate on is email. We want to know what exists in each system already, because that's how we're going to be able to more quickly handle changes or creations further down the line as we go through the integration process. We're not grabbing everything and pushing everything all the time. We're just grabbing what's changed, and then we're verifying that what's changed is something that you have mapped to the other system, and then we're only making that push to the other system if necessary. What it will do when it's done is it'll just start in a regular production environment. It'll just start picking up every 5 minutes after the sync completes. 5 minutes later, it'll just pick up and run again. And it'll say, hey, give me all the changes since the last time I asked you for changes. And it'll continue through that cycle 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So my initial sync is completed, and we can see that my last sync ran at 16:25:50 Eastern Time. So I'm going to go ahead and make some data happen. So let's say someone comes to the website and fills out a form. They become a contact in the Hubspot system. So I'm going to call myself Ben008, and I'm going to do save all changes. So this is a net new contact who's come over to HubSpot. They've been updated, so that's going to cause them to sync over to the LeadMaster system. So if you notice here, we have Ben008 Smith. Bedrock test is the account. We can actually now see the pieces of information that I actually filled out. If I go back to my contact, we can see that same information here. In a real world scenario, someone will actually do something to this contact in the system. So I'm going to come in here and edit this guy. Let's go to properties. And if we look in here, we should see some information. There's my city Beantown. There's my job title Demo Dude. Actually, I'm going to go over to property history so I can show you. So you can see the original form caused this person to be created. Then me, via the user interface, I updated these fields. What I can also do is create a net new contact inside of the system. And here's my record here. The integration will run, and in the back end, essentially, we will see this new person from LeadMaster. So if I go to Contacts Home, we can see Ben from LeadMaster. I'll just look at property history because that's the easiest way to see all the data that came over. We can see it was created. Here's the last name, phone number, title, the company, and the email. So that's really the kind of the breadth of the integration. One of the nice things about the Bedrock Data Platform is you can integrate many systems in a single integration. So I can have LeadMaster, HubSpot, GoToWebinar all in one integration and not have to worry about maintaining multiple integrations and multiple mappings. I can literally map all the fields directly to each other, and then that data will flow between the three systems.